Before the company anniversary meeting, I stood alone in my office and looked at the framed photo on my desk. 8 years. 8 years of loving Victoria Hale. 8 years of telling myself that her coldness was only stress. 8 years of believing things would eventually become normal again. My phone rang. "Where are you?" Victoria asked. "I'm coming. Don't be late. The board members are already here." "I know." She paused. "Ethan." "Yes." "Try not to embarrass me today." I forced a smile even though she couldn't see it. "I never do." The line went dead. That was how most of our conversations ended these days. "No, I love you." "No, see you soon." Nothing. I slipped the photo into my drawer and headed upstairs. As soon as I entered the conference room, Tyler Hale laughed. "Look who's here." I ignored him and took my seat. Tyler smirked. "Seriously, Ethan, do you even work? Or is being my sister's husband your full-time career?" Several people exchanged uncomfortable glances. I simply replied, "Good morning, Tyler." He chuckled. "See? That's why nobody respects you. You don't even defend yourself." Victoria continued reviewing documents. She didn't say a word. Not one. That hurt more than Tyler's insults. I looked at her. "Victoria?" "What?" she asked without raising her eyes. "Nothing." Tyler laughed louder. Poor guy. Even the Ice Queen doesn't have time for him. A woman beside Victoria sighed quietly. "Tyler." "That's enough," Chloe Bennett said. Tyler rolled his eyes. "Oh, relax, Chloe. I'm joking." "No, you're being rude." Victoria finally looked up. "Can we focus on work?" Chloe nodded. "Of course." I offered her a grateful smile. She seemed to be the only person in the room who still remembered basic kindness. An hour later, the meeting ended. Employees prepared for the company's anniversary gala. I was about to leave when Victoria stopped me. "Stay." I turned around. "Sure." Tyler grinned. "This should be interesting." Another woman entered the room. Vanessa Rhodes, Victoria's best friend. Vanessa hugged Victoria. "My favorite CEO." Victoria actually smiled. A real smile. I couldn't remember the last time she smiled like that at me. Vanessa looked at me. "Oh, Ethan, you're here too." I nodded politely. "Good afternoon." She whispered dramatically. Still so serious. Tyler laughed again. He's probably worried someone will ask what he actually does. Vanessa giggled. "Be nice." "What?" Tyler asked. He's been living the dream for 8 years. I finally spoke. "I've never asked anyone for anything." Tyler shrugged. "You asked my sister." Victoria sighed impatiently. "Enough." For 1 second, I thought she was defending me. Then she said something else. "We have something important to discuss." Vanessa's eyes sparkled. "Oh, are we doing it now?" Victoria nodded. "Yes." Chloe suddenly looked nervous. "Ms. Hale, maybe we should." "It's fine," Victoria interrupted. I frowned. "What is this about?" Victoria stood up. "Everyone, please sit." Employees stopped walking. Board members sat down again. Even Tyler looked curious. Victoria picked up a glass of champagne. "I've spent years building this company." People applauded. She continued. "And now, I believe it's time to celebrate a new chapter." Vanessa clapped excitedly. Tyler raised his glass. I smiled faintly. Maybe she was finally relaxing. Maybe things weren't as bad as I feared. Then Victoria looked directly into my eyes, and my heart suddenly felt uneasy. I had no idea that the next words out of her mouth were about to destroy everything. After Victoria announced the divorce celebration party, I barely remembered how I drove home. Her words kept replaying inside my head. We should celebrate freedom. The laughter in the room, Vanessa's applause, Tyler's grin, and the look on Victoria's face. She wasn't angry. She wasn't sad. She was proud. I sat alone in the dark living room when my phone rang. "Hello." I answered. "Ethan." I recognized the voice immediately. "Lucas." My old college friend sighed. "You sound terrible." "I'm fine." "No, you're not." I said I'm fine. "You always say that when you're dying inside." I closed my eyes. "I don't know what happened, Lucas." "What did she do?" I laughed bitterly. "She invited the whole city to celebrate our divorce." Silence. Then Lucas exploded. "She did what?" "You heard me." "Tell me you're joking." "I wish I was." 8 years, Ethan. I know. You stood beside her when nobody believed in her. I know. You skipped opportunities because she needed support. I know. You moved cities for her. I know. So why are you acting like this is normal? I rubbed my forehead. Because I still love her. Lucas became quiet. Then he asked softly, do you love the woman she is now? Or the woman she used to be? His question hit me hard, because I remember the old Victoria, the woman who held my hand in cheap diners, the woman who cried when I proposed, the woman who once said, even if we lose everything, as long as I have you, I'm happy. I miss that woman, but she had disappeared years ago. Maybe I don't know anymore, I admitted. Then stop destroying yourself for someone who stopped fighting for you. The next morning, I arrived at the office. As I stepped inside, I heard raised voices. Harold Hale, Victoria's father. Victoria, have you lost your mind? He demanded. Dad, calm down. No, it's just a party. A divorce isn't a birthday. It represents a new chapter. It represents humiliation. I stopped outside the door. Harold continued. Public cruelty always has consequences. Dad, people admire strong women. Strength and arrogance are different things. Victoria sighed. You're overreacting. I'm trying to save you. I don't need saving. Harold's voice softened. Then at least don't destroy a good man. I quietly walked away. A few minutes later, Vanessa entered Victoria's office. I heard her laugh. Ignore your father. Victoria smiled. You think so? Absolutely. People will love this. Harold shook his head and left. Vanessa sat beside Victoria. This party will make you look powerful. I want people to see I'm independent. And they will. Victoria smiled. I deserve happiness. Vanessa grinned. And freedom. I noticed Chloe Bennett standing nearby. She looked uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. She avoided eye contact with me. Good morning, Chloe. She forced a smile. Morning, Mr. Mercer. You seem worried. I'm fine. No, you're not. Her eyes widened. I'm okay. Before I could ask more, Victoria called her. Chloe, coming. As Chloe walked away, I felt something was wrong. Very wrong. That afternoon, I reviewed some documents at home. Then I froze. What? I stared at the papers again. There had to be some mistake. But there wasn't. Victoria wasn't just ending our marriage. She planned to erase me completely. My name, my involvement, everything. It was as if I had never existed. My hands trembled. 8 years. Reduced to nothing. That night, I drove to Nathan Brooks' office. He had been my lawyer for years. Nathan looked up. Ethan, I need advice. He studied my face. You look exhausted. I feel worse. He listened quietly as I explained everything. When I finished, Nathan leaned back. Why are you protecting people who don't respect you? Because they're family. Are they? I said nothing. Nathan sighed. Ethan, loyalty is admirable. But loyalty without respect becomes self-destruction. I looked down. I loved her. I know. I still do. I know. But love doesn't mean surrender. I swallowed hard. What should I do? Nathan's answer came immediately. Stop hiding. I frowned. What? Stop making yourself smaller. I never wanted attention. This isn't about attention. Then what? It's about dignity. I remained silent. Nathan looked directly at me. Let them face the truth. I remembered Tyler's insults. Vanessa's laughter. Victoria's cold eyes. The room celebrating my humiliation. And suddenly, something inside me changed. Not anger. Not hatred. Something quieter. Something stronger. Acceptance. I stood up. Nathan smiled. Feeling better? A little. Good. What happens now? Now. I smiled for the first time in days. Now I attend the party. And I stopped playing the role they assigned me. For the first time in years, I wasn't afraid of losing my marriage. Because deep inside, I realized something painful. I had already lost it long ago. And maybe, just maybe, it was finally time to stop losing myself too. The night of the divorce celebration party finally arrived. I stood outside the Grand Crest Hotel and looked up at the building. For years, I had visited the property without anyone knowing the truth. Tonight, everything would change. My phone vibrated. Nathan Brooks had sent a short message. Remember who you are. I smiled. Then I walked inside. Hundreds of guests filled the ballroom. Laughter echoed everywhere. Music played. Champagne flowed. And in the center of it all stood Victoria. My wife looked stunning in a silver dress. People surrounded her. She smiled as if this was the happiest night of her life. Vanessa Rhodes hugged her. You look incredible. Victoria laughed. I feel incredible. Tyler Hale raised his glass. Tonight deserves a toast. Everyone cheered. Then Tyler spotted me. Look who's here. Several people turned. Vanessa smiled. Ethan, you actually came. Victoria invited me. Tyler laughed. I thought you'd hide under a rock. I don't hide. No. He smirked. Funny. You've hidden your entire life. Several guests chuckled. Vanessa joined in. Don't be cruel, Tyler. I'm serious. He pointed at me. This guy won the lottery. Someone asked, what does he even do? Tyler shrugged. Nothing. More laughter followed. I simply smiled. Victoria approached me. I'm glad you came. I said I would. She nodded. I appreciate that. Vanessa grinned. See? Ethan is taking it well. Tyler snorted. What choice does he have? I looked at him. Enjoy the evening, Tyler. Oh, I plan to. He raised his glass again. To freedom. Everyone repeated the toast. To freedom. I felt the pain inside my chest. But I stayed calm. A group of executives whispered nearby. Poor guy. He looks broken. Victoria really outgrew him. She's too successful for him. I heard every word. But I remember Nathan's advice. Stop hiding. Across the room, Chloe Bennett caught my eye. She looked worried. Very worried. She walked over. Mr. Mercer. Good evening, Chloe. I'm sorry. For what? She lowered her voice. You didn't deserve this. I smiled softly. Thank you. She glanced around nervously. Something feels wrong. I already knew, but I simply nodded. Before she could say more, Vanessa called her. Chloe, I'm coming. Half an hour later, Victoria stepped onto the stage. She tapped the microphone. Thank you all for coming. Applause followed. She smiled proudly. Tonight marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. People cheered. Tyler shouted, finally. More laughter erupted. Victoria raised her glass. I believe every ending deserves a celebration. Suddenly, two members of the hotel staff approached. Their expressions looked serious. One of them spoke quietly. Ms. Hale, we have a problem. Victoria frowned. What kind of problem? There are issues regarding authorization. What? The event approval documents. Vanessa blinked. What does that mean? Tyler stepped forward. Fix it. The employee swallowed. It's more complicated. Victoria crossed her arms. Then explain. The man looked uncomfortable. There are ownership concerns. Victoria stared. Ownership? Yes. Her voice sharpened. I rented this venue months ago. We understand. Then what's the issue? The owner hasn't authorized certain requests. Tyler frowned. What owner? Vanessa laughed nervously. This is ridiculous. Victoria snapped. I want the manager. Immediately. A few moments later, the general manager arrived. He bowed respectfully. Good evening. Victoria glared. Explain this. I'm afraid there's been confusion. What confusion? Some approvals require direct authorization. I already paid. Yes. Then why are we having this conversation? Because those permissions can only come from the owner. Tyler rolled his eyes. Then call him. Vanessa nodded. Exactly. Victoria sighed. Let's settle this. The manager smiled politely. Certainly. Then he turned toward me. Mr. Mercer. The entire ballroom became silent. Victoria froze. Tyler blinked. Vanessa looked confused. The manager bowed. We apologize for disturbing your evening. I stood up. It's fine. Tyler laughed. What's this? I calmly walked toward the stage. Victoria stared at me. Ethan. I took the microphone. Good evening. Nobody spoke. I smiled. I think there's been some confusion tonight. Tyler laughed awkwardly. What are you doing? I ignored him. Instead, I looked toward the entrance. Will my guest please join me? The ballroom doors opened. A beautiful woman entered. She wore a black suit and walked with confidence. Several executives gasped. One whispered, that's Sophia Whitmore. Another whispered, the CEO of Mercer Holdings. Sophia stepped beside me. She smiled warmly. Good evening. Victoria looked shocked. Tyler frowned. What is happening? Sophia accepted the microphone. I believe introductions are necessary. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Sophia smiled. I am Sophia Whitmore, CEO of Mercer Holdings. The room remained silent, and she pointed toward me. And Ethan Mercer is my business partner. Whispers exploded. Tyler's face turned pale. Vanessa stopped smiling. Victoria stared at me. Sophia continued. For years, Ethan has quietly built an extraordinary portfolio. People exchanged stunned looks. Then Sophia delivered the words that changed everything. And among those assets, she smiled, is the Grand Crest Hotel. Silence. Complete silence. Tyler nearly dropped his glass. Vanessa's mouth fell open. Victoria's smile vanished. Ethan, her voice trembled. You own this hotel? I looked in her eyes. For the first time in years, I saw genuine shock. Not anger. Not pride. Shock. Tears formed in her eyes. Why didn't you tell me? My voice remained calm. Because I loved you. The room became even quieter. I never hid my success out of shame. I swallowed hard. I hid it because I thought love mattered more. Victoria looked devastated. And in that moment, I realized something painful. The party she planned to celebrate my humiliation had become the night her world started falling apart. 3 days after the party, the entire city seemed to know what had happened. News channels discussed it. Business blogs talked about it. People who had laughed at me now whispered about Victoria. I sat quietly in my office when Lucas called. Have you seen the news? I have. You okay? I don't know. You don't sound happy. I'm not. You won. Did I? Lucas sighed. Ethan, she humiliated herself. That wasn't what I wanted. What did you want? I looked out the window. My wife back. Meanwhile, problems continued to explode around the Hale family. I learned that investors had started questioning Victoria's decisions. Several board members blamed Vanessa. Apparently, her influence over Victoria had become a serious concern. Tyler's situation became even worse. His reckless investments had created losses nobody expected. Harold Hale finally reached his limit. I heard about their argument from someone inside the company. Success doesn't excuse stupidity, Harold told Victoria. Dad, please. No, I made a mistake. You made many. Victoria cried. I know. Harold's voice softened. You confuse success with arrogance. I never meant to hurt him. But you did. I thought he would stay. Harold stared at her. That's the problem. What? You treated his love like a guarantee. She broke down. I didn't realize. You should have. A few hours later, Chloe Bennett asked to meet me. We sat inside a small cafe. She looked nervous. Thank you for seeing me. Of course. She lowered her eyes. I owe you an apology. You don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. I frowned. What do you mean? Tears appeared in her eyes. I try to stop this. Stop what? The party. My heart skipped. What? I warned Ms. Hale many times. You did. She nodded. I begged her. I stayed silent. Chloe continued. I told her she would regret it. What did she say? She thought I worried too much. And Vanessa? Chloe sighed. Vanessa kept interfering. Interfering? She always convinced Ms. Hale to ignore everyone. I shook my head. So you knew this would happen. I was afraid. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted to. Her voice trembled, but I thought she would listen. I smiled sadly. Thank you for trying. She wiped her tears. You were always kind to me. I only treated you with respect. Exactly. As she left, I realized something. Not everyone around Victoria had failed me. Some people had fought for me, even when I didn't know it. That evening, I returned home. The house felt empty. For the first time in years, Victoria was working late. No phone call came. No message arrived. And strangely, I missed her. Not the woman she had become. The woman she used to be. I miss movie nights. Late dinners. The way she used to fall asleep on my shoulder. I miss the memories. Not the pain. 2 days later, someone knocked on my door. I opened it. Victoria stood there. My heart stopped. Her eyes were red. She looked exhausted. Ethan. I couldn't speak. Can I come in? I stepped aside. Neither of us talked for a moment. Then she whispered, I'm sorry. I closed my eyes. Victoria. No. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Please let me speak. I remained silent. She sat down. I lost myself. I stared at her. I know. I became someone I don't recognize. I said nothing. She cried harder. I hurt you. Yes. I humiliated you. Yes. I destroyed us. My voice cracked. Yes. She covered her face. I deserve that. Silence filled the room. And she looked at me. I never thought you would leave. Those words hurt more than anything. What? I thought you would forgive me. I couldn't believe it. You expected me to stay? She nodded weakly. I thought your love was forever. It was. She cried harder. I know. No, you don't. My voice trembled. Forever doesn't mean endless suffering. She stared at me. I know that now. I sat beside her. Part of me wanted to hold her. Part of me wanted to comfort her. Because despite everything, I still loved her. That was the truth I hated most. She looked at me. Do you hate me? No. Why? Because I loved you. Her tears fell faster. I'm sorry. I know. I would change everything. I know. I would go back. I swallowed painfully. I know. She reached for my hand. I almost grabbed it. Almost. But I stopped myself. Her eyes filled with heartbreak. Ethan, I can't. Why? Because love isn't the problem. She looked confused. What is? Trust. The room became silent again. I broke it, she whispered. Yes. She lowered her head. I'm too late. I couldn't answer. Because I didn't know. I still loved her. But I also loved the man I was becoming. For years, I had chosen everyone except myself. Now I faced the hardest question in my life. Could I forgive the woman who broke my heart? Or was it finally time to choose me? Weeks passed. In the end, Victoria and I finalized our divorce peacefully. There were no arguments, no shouting, no revenge, just signatures and silence. When we left the lawyer's office, Victoria looked at me. So this is really it? I nodded. Yes. Tears filled her eyes. I understand. For the first time in years, she didn't fight reality. She accepted it. As for Tyler, karma finally caught him. His reckless investments and hidden debts became public. I heard about his troubles from Lucas. He really did it to himself, Lucas said. I heard. He might face lawsuits. I sighed. That's unfortunate. Lucas laughed. You're too kind. I'm just tired. Tired of what? Hating people. Lucas smiled. Good answer. Vanessa's situation wasn't much better. The same social circle she controlled abandoned her. People who once admired her suddenly disappeared. One afternoon, Chloe called me. Have you heard about Vanessa? No. Nobody wants anything to do with her. I stayed silent. Chloe sighed. Funny, isn't it? What is? People love power. And they disappear when power disappears. After hanging up, I realized something. Neither Tyler nor Vanessa had been destroyed by me. They had destroyed themselves. And, somehow, that felt more satisfying. Meanwhile, Victoria shocked everyone. She resigned as CEO. Harold called me afterward. I thought you should know. She resigned. Yes. Why? Harold sounded tired. She said she needs to remember who she was before success changed her. I smiled sadly. I hope she finds peace. So do I. Then he became quiet. Ethan. Yes. Thank you. For what? For loving my daughter when she forgot how to love herself. His words broke my heart. A month later, I received a message. It was for Victoria. Can we meet? I stared at the screen. Part of me wanted to refuse, but another part remembered who we once were. I replied, okay. That evening, I arrived at the small cafe where we had our first date. Nothing had changed. The same tables, the same music, the same memories. Victoria stood when she saw me. Hi. Hi. She smiled weakly. You still order coffee without sugar? I laughed softly. You remember. I remember everything. We sat down. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she whispered, thank you. I looked at her. For what? For 8 years. Tears filled her eyes. For loving me. I stayed silent. For believing in me. Her voice trembled. For standing beside me. She wiped her tears. I never thanked you enough. You don't have to. Yes, I do. She smiled sadly. I took your love for granted. I lowered my eyes. I know. I thought unconditional love would always be there. Her tears returned. And I forgot that people have limits. I nodded slowly. We all make mistakes. She shook her head. No, this wasn't a mistake. What was it? It was pride. I remained silent. Victoria looked at me. I became selfish. Yes. I became arrogant. Yes. I became cruel. I closed my eyes. Yes. She cried quietly. I'm sorry. I know. She smiled through tears. You always say that. I smiled. You always cry when you're honest. That made her laugh. A small laugh. The kind I hadn't heard in years. Then she asked softly, Do you hate me? No. Why not? I thought carefully. Because I finally understood something. Revenge wasn't destroying another person. Revenge wasn't humiliation. Revenge wasn't making someone suffer. True victory was refusing to let betrayal destroy me. So I smiled. Because carrying hatred is exhausting. She cried again. You deserved better. Maybe. And I wasn't enough. You were once. Her eyes widened. Once. I nodded. Once you were everything. Silence filled the cafe. Then she whispered, I miss us. So do I. I wish I could go back. We can't. I know. She reached across the table. This time, I held her hand. Not because I wanted her back, but because I wanted us both to heal. Victoria. Yes. I forgive you. She broke down. Ethan. I forgive you. Her tears fell harder. Thank you. But forgiveness doesn't mean we belong together. She nodded. I know, and I hope you find happiness. She smiled sadly. I hope you do too. When we left the cafe, we hugged each other one last time. And then I walked away. Not with anger. Not with regret. Not with hatred. Just peace. Months later, I stood in front of a crowd. Beside me stood Sophia Whitmore and Lucas Grant. A large sign behind us read, William Mercer Foundation, named after my grandfather, the man who taught me dignity. Sophia smiled. Ready? I nodded. Lucas grinned. Your grandfather would be proud. I looked toward the sky. I hope so. As cameras flashed, I realized something. Losing Victoria had once felt like losing everything. But I had been wrong. Because through heartbreak, I found myself again. I found peace. I found purpose. And most importantly, I found a man I was always meant to become. Some endings are painful. Some scars never fully disappear. But sometimes losing everything you love is the first step toward finally finding yourself. And as I smiled at the future ahead of me, I understood one final truth. Goodbye doesn't always mean tragedy. Sometimes, goodbye is where healing begins.